I can see you
So
now.
I just got back off the bike. I've got messy hair.
Oh, bike riding?
Yeah, well, motorbike, yeah.
Oh, nice. A motorbike. That's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, nice. Well, thanks for joining me. I'm really excited to chat rock music with you.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, my pleasure. So how's your weekend going, aside from, going on a nice bike ride?
Well, pretty good, but I mean, we haven't got the weather for it over here, so.
Oh, no. Well, it's awesome that you have like a bunch of live music shows lined up. It's cool that the UK is getting back into it.
Yeah, fingers crossed. I mean, I know it's a little different for you guys, but hopefully our first one should be 4th of July. That's a typical date, isn't it, for you? But yeah, hopefully it should be outside. So I think it's Cleethorpes Rocks, which is kind of like a seaside town almost. Yeah.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Yeah, yeah, should be good. Yeah.
Yeah, how are you feeling about getting back into performing again? Is it kind of like finally, or are you kind of like nervous about it?
A bit of both, really, I think, because we've never had this length of a break before. So I am raring to go. The band are definitely itching to get out there. And I think as well, something I've noticed over here, because last weekend the UK opened up where you could have music outside, and I saw a pub beer garden absolutely full of people waiting to see a band, and that was not something you saw all the time over here. It was sort of like the music scene was saturated and people getting fed up with music, but now it seems there's a new enthusiasm, and if there's a band on, people are like, whoa, something's happening, like we've got to be there.
Yeah.
So I think it's definitely a good thing, so that should be better now. Yeah,
I know, like people are just so tired of being cooped up. They just want to go out and enjoy being around other people and enjoy music again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I think that's a plus for bands, they're going to get big crowds, and
yeah.
It's going to be a good return to performing.
Definitely. Well, and long may it last as well.
Yeah, I can't wait till we get back to that. But yeah, also it's exciting, especially in the UK with this new wave of classic rock movement. There's no lack of awesome bands. And you're going to be performing with some of them, like Bad Touch and Piston. So it must be like an exciting time over there.
Yeah, I mean, it was just before lockdown that we sort of joined forces with A8 Records. I know they've got sort of like bases over in the US as well. But that was sort of when I just realised how much new rock there is, because sometimes when you're gigging, you don't come across certain people, or you'll never get to meet certain bands because you're always gigging on the same night in different cities. But that was a really good thing to be a part of, because we all came together and got to meet each other, and we had like a WhatsApp group, and even now we keep in contact. So I'm going on tour, a tour date with Jack J. Hutchinson later this year, and he was on that record. And I know they've got a massive compilation album coming out soon, actually. New Wave of Classic Rock. Yeah. There's quite a few people on that. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And your latest song, What Are You Doing It For? That's a really cool song. I love it.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, so that was written about like people who might be in the music industry for the wrong reasons, or how you came up with inspiration for the song?
Yeah, it's a bit of a mixed one, really, because I originally wrote it about I was kind of getting a little bit frustrated with the gigging side of things, because every band knows it can be really difficult sort of getting in at 4 o'clock in the morning and getting up for work at 6. Sometimes it's not fun and it's real tiring, but so I got home one day saying I had a bad gig or whatever, and my partner said to me, well, what are you doing it for then? And I sort of, that stuck in my head, and I thought, well, what am I doing it for? And for me, it's that line of the song where it's spotlights hit the floor, And that's what I do it for, because and one gig that comes to my mind every time is Leeds O2 Academy. That was a real sort of turning point for me, that I craved those big stages, you know, with the lights, and you can't really see it past the front row. It's just sort of pitch black, and there's something magic about that. You can just have 45 minutes to yourself playing your guitar and not worrying about anything else, and nobody's talking to you. You just can rock, basically, and that's what I love. Yeah. But yeah, as well, when we went into the studio, it changed slightly. So I went in with that approach, and then the producer said, well, what about people that don't do it for that? And then we came up with the extra lyrics. Is it just a game? Because I will never play that way. So that's where the extra lyrics came from. It was like, well, here's what I'm doing it for, but what are you doing it for? And then it was sort of a mix of both, really.
No, I like that. Yeah, because it seems like these days, you know, with TikTok, like, someone can become famous overnight just for doing a dance, and they're wearing barely nothing, you know, whereas bands like musicians like you, they you know, tough it out every night. Like you said, you have to come home late and then wake up early. I feel like those are the bands who should be, you know, getting the recognition.
Oh yeah, definitely, 100%. But unfortunately, that is the world we live in.
Unfortunately, not the society right now. But you're also an amazing guitarist. Can you talk a little bit about, you know, like how you went about learning guitar and some of your favorite guitar riffs?
Thank you. Yeah, I really appreciate that, because originally I never wanted to sing. I just wanted to be a guitarist. And I think my early records, I compensated on my guitar because I was concentrating so much on doing both singing and guitar. So the more confident I got with singing, I could then really let go on the guitar. And I remember when we played the 100 Club London, and a few years back now, and a guy said to me, you play like a bloke, like that's like, you play like a guy, you know.
Yeah.
He said, but you're still holding back, you know, you've got something left in the tank, please show us, don't be scared. And since he said that, I thought, well, yeah, do you know, I do actually. And I thought more about how could I put extra parts in, because we're only a 3-piece band. It's very difficult sometimes for me to play lead and rhythm and keep that, you know, full sound. So it is something that I've had to adapt. But originally I learned guitar from the age of 11, and then I was just sort of messing around learning Nirvana riffs. I think Come As You Are was probably the first one, and Soundgarden, Fell on Black Days, that was another one I learned first. Age 13 I started to play classical guitar, and we've got something over here called ABRSM, Royal London School of Music, basically. Okay. And I took all the exams from grade I skipped grade 1, so I cheated a bit, but I did grade 2 up to grade 8, and that really, I think, this is something I tell my students now, because I do teach as well. I say to them, it's so important to learn everything, because then you can break the rules then. So if you know everything, and I really don't regret at all learning classical, and I still love to play classical guitar. Because somebody said to me as well, I think it was the same guy at that gig, he's like, you've got amazing stretch, like how do you get that stretch with your hands? I just went, classical guitar.
Yeah, I've been trying to learn for a long time, and oh my gosh, I wish I had learned at a younger age, because yeah, I can't really stretch my fingers.
Yeah, that's what all adults say, yeah.
Yeah, I see these like young, like 7-year-old kids, and they're like so fast, and it's like, you know, like they're so flexible with their fingers.
I know.
But like, if you had to choose like 3 guitar solos that you really love, like that really touch you, what would you say they are?
So I'm going to go for Slash's live solo. It's about 13 minutes long, and I've seen him twice, and he does it every time. And you can see everybody sort of listening for the first 7 minutes, and then wandering off to get a drink, and I'm just sat there like, you know, to do a 30-minute solo is immense, but that is Slash. So the second one would be Joe Bonamassa, and the song is Slow Gin. I love that song. Again, a long solo. My third choice, trying to think now. My third choice would be Motley Crue, Home Sweet Home.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, love that one.
That's a good one. Yeah, when I listen to guitar solos, I'm just like, how did they come up with this? It's like there's some guitar solos that I listen to over and over again. They still impact me the same way. It's something magical.
Yeah, I think with a solo, it's really important to make it memorable. I think a lot of players want to just show you how fast they can play, and but it's not memorable. You know, every one of those solos I've just mentioned, you could sing it back because it's so melodic. So that's what I'd say for soloing wise, make it memorable.
So that's kind of your approach when you play, is to kind of go for something melodic and memorable.
Yeah, definitely. I listen to a lot of I listen to a lot of instrumental stuff. So that's very melodic. Mm-hmm. But you can have a few fancy bits in there as well.
Yeah. Do you know Eric Johnson, the guitarist?
No.
Oh, okay. No. He's kind of like he has a few instrumental songs, but yeah, he's kind of like that.
Cool. I'll have to check him out. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm trying to think who else did I see recently? I went to a few like jazz guitarist concerts. And I think one was named Larry Carlton.
No, not. I don't know.
Yeah, they're kind of like they were kind of famous back in like the 70s and 80s. So.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. But no, that's cool. And I think I read that you saw Def Leppard recently.
Yeah, that's a few years back now. Yeah, but I think probably 2018 potentially. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them recently too, and man, they still put on a good show.
Oh God, yeah, 100%. I mean, we saw them in Sheffield, and that is where they're from, I think. So that was pretty special. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw them. It was in New Hampshire, north of Boston, Massachusetts, which is where I'm currently at, and yeah. Once it ended, I was like, "Oh man, that's it!" Like it went so fast.
I know, even though it's about 2 or 3 hours long.
Do you have a favorite song by them?
Yeah, I do. It's the one they opened up with, and I can't remember the name of it now. But I can sing the riff because it's memorable. Okay. I can't remember. It's off the Hysteria album.
Is it Animal?
Yes, I think it might be. Yeah, I think it might be, yeah.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
The chorus is so catchy.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I'm not a good singer, but it's the one that goes, and I want, and I need.
Yeah, I love that one, yeah. I mean, to be honest, the whole Hysteria album, because that was the Hysteria tour that I went to, and so I love all that album. Yeah.
It's cool to see that these classic rock bands are still performing, you know? People still want to go and see them.
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, I've got tickets to go to Download Festival next year in the UK. Have you heard of that yet?
If only I didn't live so far away.
Oh, you've got plenty of good festivals. We all want to come to the.
Oh, really?
Yeah, 100%.
Lollapalooza. There's one like the Burning Man concert or festival.
I think, to be honest, you get all the best tours where you've got the headliners are really good, and like the co-headliners and the supports are really good. Whereas we sort of get, American bands coming over and then sort of a band that you've never heard of, which is not necessarily a bad thing, but it's like double whammy if both of the headline and support are people you want to see. You know, we used to joke at college, like, oh, why don't we live in America?
Yeah, I guess there's, pros and cons.
Oh yeah, 100%, yeah.
Well, do you have like other music in the pipeline that will be coming out later this year?
Potentially. I'm waiting to see really what happens with the live music scene, because everybody knows artists, can sell the music best when they're on tour.
Exactly, yeah.
So I think I'm going to hold back until I know exactly what's going on. But we do have about 2 new songs we're working on. So maybe an EP at some point, but we'll see.
No, that's true. But it looks like things are, turning around, and hopefully we're seeing the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, I think so.
That's awesome. Well, Loz, I really appreciate your time chatting with me. And hope
cool, yeah, thank you for having me.
See you live one day.
Cheers, thank you.